In this maintenance update, Kim and Ryan Smith, who have lost a total of over 200 pounds, share how they have maintained their weight loss for 2 years now. Kim and Ryan, thank you for being here again to let us know how maintenance is going for you. So why don't you take a minute just to kind of give us a quick little recap about how much you guys lost, how long that took, and how you did it initially.
I actually struggled with my weight for my entire life. Started gaining weight around 8 years old, and that continued until young adulthood. When I was about 29, I lost 120 pounds with a vegetarian diet shortly after being diagnosed with diabetes. Uh, that worked well for a while. And then after Kim and I got married, I started to regain the weight. I gained it all back and was re-diagnosed with diabetes and then took off the weight with a paleo diet. I regained about 40, 45 pounds when we started fasting. Took me a few months to take that off, and I've been maintaining that since.
And so what about you, Kim?
I had a minor struggle with my weight in my 20s and 30s, and then a pretty significant weight gain in my late 30s. And I think I've said, compared to most women, I haven't done every diet, but I've done a little bit of dieting, and was dieting when I learned about intermittent fasting. So I had been down 50 pounds, and I think back up about 20. And in the time that I've been fasting, I've lost another 60. So down about 90 pounds from my heaviest weight, and have been maintaining that almost 2 years.
And so when you guys were doing the intermittent fasting, can you give people an idea of what your fasting window was like?
Yeah, this is always a question. I feel like I have a pretty boring answer, which is that, I have eaten in a 3 or 4 hour window pretty much throughout, during the time I was losing, and since. My window has gotten a little earlier, but I still eat one snack and one meal over 3 or 4 hours, and I've done that. It just works for me.
My window is fairly similar too. I tend to be a bit of a volume eater. I like to eat more food in a shorter window. So sometimes my window is only an hour or two some days, but I open it longer to be flexible depending on the day.
And so at this point, how long have you guys been maintaining?
I'd say about 2 years. We started this in the summer of 2017, and we sort of felt like we were in maintenance by the summer of 2018. So this summer that we're coming up on will be 2 years maintaining.
So what does your daily routine look like now? Is it basically exactly what you were doing when you were losing, or is it different?
My windows still look pretty much the same. I think it depends on whether I'm working or not. One of the things I have loved about fasting is that I don't have to carry food to work anymore. But I don't get home until often 4:30 or sometimes even 5 o'clock. So I tend to eat a short window on a work day. I get home at 4:30, I'll eat a quick snack, and then within an hour, I'm eating dinner, and then I'm done. On a weekend or a summer day, or like right now when things are unusual, I might open with a snack, and then a couple hours go by, so it's a little longer. But my preference is to keep it short and consistent.
The biggest change for me really has just been that I just referenced that desire to eat earlier. During the time I was losing, I was eating an evening meal. And I've really felt gradually over time I've had that desire to open the window earlier and close it earlier. And that has meant there's been some days that I will eat my main meal in the afternoon when Ryan's not home yet. I really resisted that because I wanted us to keep our lifestyle lined up and our way of eating lined up. But I really feel a lot better if I'm done eating by 3 or 4 p.m. and not 6 or 7 p.m.
So it sounds like really you're doing mostly the same stuff, right? Like, so it wasn't this drastic change. You were fasting and then you just went back to eating however you want to eat, and you've been able to keep it up. This has been about just staying with a plan, right?
Yes. I mean, at this point, I can't imagine going back to eating in a more traditional way. I'm not interested in food until noon most days. Uh, I haven't really changed in any conscious way the amount I eat or the kinds of food I eat. I'm just doing the same things I've always done. And I think that's the good thing about fasting. Your body just sort of figures that out. And I trust it's taking care of it. And I just keep clean fasting consistently every day. And it seems to be working well.
And so when you guys decided to maintain, what was that point like? Was there something where you just said, okay, we feel great here? Or was it like a BMI type calculation? Or how did you make that decision? Because I think a lot of people struggle with that. They say, like, when do I know that I'm done? So what was that like for you guys?
I'll say that it's been a hard conversation for me because I didn't have a goal weight or size. And when I decided, well, this feels like it must be maintenance-ish, I still felt like I probably could lose another 5 or 10 pounds, and it's been 2 years, and I probably could still lose another 5 or 10 pounds. But I don't. I stay off the scale. I'm one of those non-scale people. All my clothes fit. Some of the spring clothes are. This is the third season in a row that they fit. So where my weight had fluctuated for so many years, it's nice to just wear the same clothes. But I didn't want to make an arbitrary goalpost. I just wanted to say, if I still feel good, I'm going to keep doing this. And I've really had very little concern about gaining weight because I know that what I'm doing is working. I think about it once in a while, just how it would be frustrating and disappointing to start gaining weight again. But so far, it hasn't happened.
So have either one of you experienced any kind of weight regain? It sounds like Kim, like you haven't, but have you, Ryan?
Just in really small ways. I mean, I try to stay off the scale too. I don't check every day like I have done in the past. I check once or twice a month. I think what I'm noticing is that I do go up a little bit on the scale here and there. I think I regain a few pounds through the winter.
Right.
And I think once spring comes and I start to get outside more, that balances back out and it goes down. So I haven't had any weight gain the way I'm used to experiencing weight gain at this point. I think I've exceeded the point where I typically start to regain when I've done other kinds of methods. So I don't think though any weight regain I've had is significant, but I'll notice a couple pounds here and there. My clothes don't seem to be changing, so I don't take it very seriously. I'm a little mindful of it just because I've done the roller coaster before. But no, I haven't done any regain, and I haven't had to cut things back or feel restricted, which has been very different from my prior experiences.
Right. So what would you say the biggest challenge during maintenance has been for the both of you?
Well, related to the eating, I think that, we have been really public about our story. We've talked to people like you who have a big audience, and it's kind of created an idea for some people that we're really good authorities on all of this and really know a lot about it. And there's times when I'm not as interested in I'm happy to share this update, but I don't want to talk about what I eat and don't eat every day.
Right.
So that's the biggest challenge for me is, trying to stay mindful of the fact that there are people who are still struggling with their weight, still need help, still want support, when I just want to move on and feel sort of the freedom of this is behind me and this weight conversation and food struggle is behind me, and I want to kind of leave it all behind and finding the balance between, feeling that freedom, but also sharing this information just like you're doing because I still need it.
Right.
For me, I don't think maintenance has been a struggle physically. Like the fasting part is easy. I feel good about what I eat. For me, it's been more about the shift away from using food as an all-purpose activity and coping mechanism. I look back on it now and realize that in the worst, most unhealthy phases of my life, I was pretty much eating nonstop. A couple hours off here and there, but I was using food to fill a lot of voids. And I think once I was in maintenance for a time, some of that psychological stuff really became more obvious to me. And I had to think about ways to manage myself beyond food. I think fasting has helped me do that. It's made things more clear. I have felt more, strong and settled in my food choices, so I can look at that other stuff more clearly. But I think that's the great myth, that when you take off weight, you're magically happy and fixed, and all your problems are done. And I think that was a wake up call. But I think fasting has been, the one tool that really helped me, work through that other stuff that came back when food was no longer doing that for me.
What is one piece of advice, and I want you both to give your own piece of advice here, about what would you tell somebody who's trying to maintain their weight loss? Maybe they're approaching their goal weight and they're kind of worried because maybe their pattern in the past has been they always gain it back, but you guys have maintained for a couple of years now. So what advice would you give them? They're starting to maintain. What do you say to them?
I would say to, keep a mindset that you did this fasting, for a reason, and the things that made it work to create the weight loss are still working in that same way. And so don't view it as temporary. I really enjoy fasting. It's not burdensome to me. There's never a day that I wake up and think I wish I didn't have to fast today. I feel a lot of freedom from the process. And so I think if you look at it that way, then you don't, you trust and believe that if you do your part, that the fasting and your metabolism and all of your body's wonderful processes will do their part. And in that synchrony, you'll be able to maintain the weight. And then not tensing up and not going into that fear of regaining the weight actually helps you not do it, because the fear and the stress is what sabotages everything.
Exactly.
And I was thinking earlier about, maintenance, and how do you know when you're in maintenance or choosing to maintain? I don't think I did consciously choose that. I had some vague sense of what number of pounds I'm supposed to weigh. And that was mostly based on where I bottomed out the last times I lost a lot of weight. But I never really consciously decided, okay, now I'm maintaining. I just continued to clean fast every day, and I ate ways that felt right. And at some point I realized, I guess this is maintenance. I'm not losing any more. And so I would say to people is to try to get those diet terms out of their head altogether, and just decide, this is how I eat, and that. And my body decides it's done losing weight, it's done. And that's where I will be. I mean, I think there probably are a few people who continue to lose weight past a healthy point, and they have to try to eat more or fine tune so that they don't lose too much. But I think with fasting, that's probably rare. I think the body sorts it out. It will compel you to eat more food in your window if you need to. And if you don't, you will lose that appetite for that during the window. I think it's the only time I took the weight off where it started to feel a little more instinctive, a little bit more than nature intended it. Well, I just try to trust it. I just clean fast every day. I eat every day. And as much as I'm able to, I just strip away all that diet thinking that really got me in trouble for decades.
Very good. So thank you guys so much for sharing what's going on for you in maintenance. If people would like to connect with you, what's the best way they can do that?
Well, our memoir that we wrote about the weight loss, which is also coming up on a couple of years this fall, and also the name of the business that we have now is Unbelievable Freedom. So you can find us everywhere, www.unbelievablefreedom.com. We're Unbelievable Freedom on Facebook. We're Unbelievable Freedom on Instagram. We're Unbelievable Freedom on Pinterest. And really our focus now is on publishing books. As you know, we have a whole series of self-improvement workbooks by all kinds of different authors with all kinds of topics that have to do with personal freedom. You've written one, you and JR have written a book about communication, Keep Talking. Ryan has one for men, Fasting is the Foundation. There are actually 15 titles, but you can find all of that at the website, unbelievablefreedom.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Kim and Ryan, for being here. And maybe we'll do an update in another year.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for watching this video. I want to take a moment to let you know about my second book, Overcoming Weight Loss Obstacles, How to Keep Going When Things Get Difficult. There are frustrating obstacles that appear on every weight loss journey. Things like plateaus, slow weight loss, and dealing with emotional eating are all things that I have had to overcome. And in this book, I take you through each obstacles and I give you tips on how to overcome them. It goes all the way from getting started with weight loss, through the weight loss phase, and on into maintenance. I give a case study at the end of each chapter that talks about my experience with that obstacle, and it even talks some about the things I still struggle with. I've found that the obstacles are actually the things that will make you stronger and that will teach you the most about yourself. To buy the book, follow the link in the description.